China hosts its inaugural humanoid robot kickboxing competition. A survey indicates that most members of Generation Z are open to marrying an AI. A therapist asserts that engaging in intimate activities with a mischievous AI is considered infidelity. Israel claims its military has eliminated Mohammed Sinwar, who is believed to be the leader of Hamas in Gaza. In Gaza, many Palestinians who are suffering from hunger have blocked and unloaded numerous food trucks provided by the United Nations. Reuters has reported that the United States has suggested a ceasefire lasting 60 days in Gaza, which includes a proposal for a swap involving hostages and prisoners. However, Hamas has stated that this new ceasefire proposal from the United States does not meet their essential demands.
Germany is collaborating with Ukraine to produce long-range missiles and has committed an additional €5 billion in military assistance. Nokia and Blackened are joining forces to create advanced tactical networks for the German military. In a defense review, Britain is set to establish at least 6 new weapons factories, marking a shift towards continuous munitions production.
In Thailand, the River Kok in Chiang Rai has been contaminated with arsenic due to gold mining operations controlled by Wa State across the border. Officials from the Trump administration are traveling to Alaska to engage in discussions regarding a gas pipeline and oil drilling projects. Reuters has reported that a Chinese regulator has called upon automakers to meet and address the issue of zero-mileage used car sales. Furthermore, Chinese automakers have received a serious warning about the ongoing price war, following a period of intense discounting, as companies like BYD and Great Wall Motor are in conflict over the pricing strategies in China's automotive market. Bangladesh's leader, Yunus, is considering stepping down due to mounting pressure related to the upcoming elections. In Poland, an updated exit poll indicates that right-wing candidate Karol Nawrocki is on the path to victory in the presidential election, with Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán and French politician Marine Le Pen expressing their support for his win. 5 days prior, South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem encouraged Poles to choose a Trump ally during the first-ever CAC meeting held in Poland. Greece has introduced a stricter migration policy, threatening to imprison asylum seekers who have been rejected.
Mark Zuckerberg is considering introducing a subscription-based Meta AI model following the platform reaching a milestone of 1 billion users. Amazon has secured an agreement with the New York Times, allowing the newspaper's content to be accessed through Alexa. Musk's company, xAI, has arranged a $300 million partnership with Telegram to integrate Grok. Elon Musk is stepping down from his role as a special government employee in the Trump administration, stating he does not wish to be held accountable for all of Trump's actions. Top investors have indicated that Musk is required to work 40 hours a week at Tesla. Furthermore, the Wall Street Journal has reported that Musk attempted to prevent Sam Altman from finalizing a significant AI deal in the Middle East. Vietnam has prohibited the publication of The Economist's printed edition, which prominently features the country's top leader on its cover, according to reliable sources. The United States is set to impose a ban on foreign officials due to their involvement in flagrant censorship activities on social media platforms. In the United States, Senator Marco Rubio has expressed that the absence of a social media profile might lead to the denial of a visa.
Ancient DNA samples from Yunnan provide fresh insights into the origins of the Tibetan people. NASA's MAVEN spacecraft has captured its initial data on atmospheric sputtering occurring on Mars, offering potential answers to long-standing inquiries about the planet's history of water loss. Following a 15-year legal dispute, Harvard University has reached a settlement agreement to give up early photographs of enslaved individuals.
Democrats are accusing the White House of holding back details regarding agency spending. According to leading Democrats, a month ago, the Trump administration was withholding $436.87 billion in spending that had already been approved. It has been reported that the Office of Management and Budget, OMB, is sending a $9.4 billion rescissions package to the House. Furthermore, a judge has ruled that employees of DOJ may have access to sensitive data from the Treasury.
Saudi Arabia has labeled Israel's decision to prevent Arab ministers from visiting the West Bank as an act of extremism. Hamas-run health authorities report that 31 people have died due to Israeli gunfire near a Gaza aid center. In the United States, an attack on a march in Colorado aimed at raising awareness about Israeli hostages resulted in 8 injuries. The FBI has identified the suspect in a terror attack in Boulder as an Egyptian man who is residing in the U.S. illegally.
Fannie Mae in the United States has initiated a collaboration with Palantir to introduce AI technology aimed at detecting fraud. OpenAI is in discussions with the United Arab Emirates about potentially offering ChatGPT Plus at no cost to everyone. The United States Department of Energy has revealed plans for a new supercomputer, which will be powered by Dell and NVIDIA, with the goal of accelerating scientific discoveries.
Trump mentioned to Netanyahu that attacking Iran would be highly unsuitable, given the proximity of reaching an agreement. The IAEA has revealed that Iran has been engaging in clandestine nuclear activities using undeclared materials, and it has enriched uranium sufficient for 10 nuclear bombs, with production ongoing. Rasmussen's survey indicates that 57% of people are in favor of the U.S. taking military action against Iran's nuclear capabilities.
Vance suggests that the United States could leverage Bitcoin to gain an edge in its competition with China. Trump has enhanced the role of cryptocurrency in 401k plans by eliminating the guidance introduced during Biden's administration. Furthermore, a Saudi Sukuk ETF has started trading in Hong Kong, marking a significant milestone in the introduction of Sharia-compliant bonds.
Recent research indicates that AI might be reducing the availability of entry-level positions in the technology sector, with Anthropic's CEO warning that AI could eliminate up to half of all entry-level white-collar jobs. Meta is considering the use of AI to evaluate privacy and societal risks, potentially replacing human roles in these areas. Furthermore, record labels are in discussions with AI companies Udio and Suno about licensing their music for use in AI applications.
The Ukrainian Land Forces commander has stepped down following a Russian assault that resulted in the deaths of 12 Ukrainian soldiers on a training site. Ukraine asserts that a drone strike successfully targeted 40 Russian bombers, with negotiations expected to continue in Turkey. A significant security lapse has occurred as blueprints for a Russian nuclear site were inadvertently made public in a procurement database. Furthermore, Israel reports the successful interception of drones using advanced high-power laser technology.
A German court has rejected a lawsuit against RWE, yet it has delivered a significant ruling that could influence future climate litigation, affirming that polluters are accountable for climate damage. French lawmakers have decided to eliminate low-emission zones, dealing a major setback to President Macron's strategy for achieving net zero emissions. Hong Kong is planning to provide incentives for those issuing and investing in catastrophe bonds, aiming to establish itself as a leading hub in this field.
The SEC has decided to withdraw its lawsuit against Binance shortly after the cryptocurrency exchange began offering Trump's stablecoin for trading. Data indicates that investors in the dollar Trump meme coin have collectively spent over $140 million in hopes of securing a dinner invitation with Trump. Former Goldman Sachs banker Leissner has been sentenced to 2 years in prison for his involvement in the 1MDB fraud scandal.
Apple introduces a self-service repair option for iPad and broadens its repair initiatives. Apple plans to release iOS 26 and macOS 26 as part of a significant rebranding effort linked to software overhauls. AI systems processing audio data from AirPods might be able to calculate a user's heart rate.
APT41 malware is utilizing Google Calendar for covert command and control communication. Greynoise has uncovered a stealthy backdoor campaign impacting thousands of ASUS routers. In the United States, the Treasury has moved against Funnel, a Philippines-based company that offers computer infrastructure to hundreds of thousands of websites engaged in virtual currency investment scams, often referred to as pig butchering.
China establishes an international tribunal in Hong Kong to compete with the World Court. The Washington Post remarks on how Trump has allowed his allies and supporters to evade centuries of imprisonment. In Bangladesh, the trial of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina begins, with charges of orchestrating a systematic attack.
Besant indicates that discussions with China regarding a trade agreement have come to a halt, but anticipates a phone conversation between Trump and Xi will occur eventually. Trump accuses China of completely breaching the trade agreement with the United States. In the U.S., the House of Representatives has approved a tax bill aimed at addressing unfair foreign taxes imposed on American investments. The South China Morning Post reports that Deloitte China has established a global office to assist mainland clients in managing trade tensions.
United Airlines and JetBlue have reached an agreement that will affect travelers' points and bring United back to JFK Airport. Amazon is reportedly working on a confidential project called Bend the Curve, which involves removing billions of product listings from its everything store. A report suggests that gas prices in California might soar to $8 by the end of 2026, and the closure of refineries in Contra Costa is uniting labor unions with environmental activists.
Recent studies indicate that decaffeinated coffee can replicate the effects of caffeine in individuals who regularly consume it. Life expectancy in certain U.S. states has remained nearly unchanged for over 100 years. Furthermore, diabetes linked to malnutrition has been officially recognized as type 5.
Saudi Arabia and Qatar are set to offer financial assistance to Syria's state employees, as announced by Saudi Arabia's foreign minister. The Damascus Securities Exchange in Syria has reopened for trading after a 6-month break. In Spain, the rapid increase in rental prices has driven hundreds of homeless individuals to seek shelter at Madrid airport. In New York City, Governor Cuomo has put forward a proposal to raise the minimum wage to $20. Trump has made an outlandish claim that President Biden was actually killed in 2020 and has since been replaced by a clone. In the U.S., a court has decided that Trump's defamation lawsuit, aimed at stripping the New York Times and the Washington Post of their Pulitzer Prizes, can move forward. Furthermore, Fox News has reported that a watchdog group has discovered no evidence indicating that President Biden was aware of significant climate executive orders and is now demanding clarification on who used the autopen to sign them.
The number of fatalities from flooding in Nigeria has surpassed 200, according to officials. In the northeastern region of India, 10 people have lost their lives due to landslides and flooding. A glacier collapse has resulted in significant portions of the Swiss village of Blatten being buried.
The European Union Commission has imposed a fine of €329 million on Delivery Hero and Glovo for their involvement in an online food delivery cartel. A report has identified pirated football streams as a form of industrial-scale theft. Additionally, Banksy has revealed a new mural featuring a lighthouse with the inscription, "I want to be what you saw in me," in France.
Insurgents have reportedly killed numerous individuals at a military base in Mali and launched an attack on Timbuktu, according to sources. 2 years prior, it was announced that Russian troops had been deployed to Timbuktu in Mali following the withdrawal of French forces. In the Philippines, there is consideration of funding for the acquisition of F-16 jets, although the defense chief has expressed skepticism about a large-scale purchase from the United States. It has been noted that Paris Saint-Germain PSG delivered an impressive performance by defeating Inter Milan 5-0 to secure their first Champions League title, which was followed by tragic events in France, including 2 fatalities and hundreds of arrests.
U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has given assurances to allies that the United States will stand by them in the face of pressure from China, which is attempting to change the existing balance of power in the Indo-Pacific region. Hegseth delivered this warning at the Shangri-La Dialogue and emphasized that the U.S. will not be forced out of the Indo-Pacific. He also urged allies to increase their defense spending. Singapore's defense chief noted the noticeable absence of China at the Shangri-La Dialogue. A Singapore-based scientist has raised concerns that China's quantum satellite is vulnerable to hacking.
Trump announced that the tariffs on steel and aluminum will be increased to 50%. A decision that the EU has expressed strong regret over. In the United States, a federal court has prevented Trump from implementing extensive tariffs using emergency powers, but an appeal court has permitted the current tariffs to remain in place. The South China Morning Post reports that major U.S. retailers are urging their Chinese suppliers to bear up to 66% of the tariff expenses.
HSBC plans to shut down its business banking division in the United States as part of an effort to streamline its operations. In the United Kingdom, the government has completed the sale of its remaining shares in NatWest, marking the end of a 17-year period since the bank received a £45 billion bailout. HSBC has reported that households in mainland China are expected to purchase an additional $100 billion worth of stocks in Hong Kong.
Trump's advisors maintain that tariffs will stay in place, despite a recent court decision. 4 days ago, a U.S. court halted the majority of Trump's tariffs, stating that the president overstepped his authority. Bloomberg discusses Japan's efforts to increase its investments in Africa to reduce its dependency on China. The EU is preparing to restrict China's entry into the medical device market as trade tensions continue to heat up.
Trump's directives might halt the sale of Chinese drones within the United States. India has implemented a requirement for comprehensive examination of all CCTV hardware and software due to growing apprehensions about Chinese surveillance activities. According to Reuters, officials indicate that Trump is striving to surpass the weapons sales to Taiwan achieved during his first term.
MIT's class president is prohibited from attending the graduation ceremony following a pro-Palestinian speech. Universities are discreetly engaging in discussions with a White House aide to prevent a situation similar to Harvard's, according to a source. MIT has shut down its DEI office amid ongoing conflicts between Trump and Harvard, along with other educational institutions. The Economist has weighed in, noting a decline in the demand for American degrees.
RFK Jr.'s MAHA, Make America Healthy Again report has been discovered to include references to studies that do not exist. A study has estimated that removing fluoride from water would result in 25 million cavities and a cost of $9.8 billion. Research indicates that over half of the top 100 mental health videos on TikTok contain false information.
An impersonator gained unauthorized access to the phone of Susie Wiles, the chief of staff, according to Trump. FBI officials have stated that a video from the jail indicates Jeffrey Epstein's death was a suicide. Trump mentioned he might consider granting a pardon to Diddy, expressing his willingness to examine the facts regarding this possibility. However, 50 Cent has indicated he plans to persuade Trump against issuing a potential pardon for Diddy.
The FDA has granted approval to a new COVID vaccine developed by Moderna, though it comes with certain conditions. The HHS has decided to terminate funding for Moderna's vaccines aimed at combating pandemic flu. The Guardian highlights that the U.S. Veterans Agency has instructed its scientists to refrain from publishing their research in academic journals without prior approval. Furthermore, a trial has concluded that engaging in physical exercise is more effective than medication in preventing cancer from recurring after treatment.
The Washington Post discusses the possibility of Trump becoming the most supportive president of illegal immigration in history. Tehran expresses doubt about the reported pause in U.S. sanctions and indicates resistance to a nuclear proposal, while also cautioning against Europeans using UN nuclear reports for political purposes. A U.S. envoy has visited Damascus, suggesting that the conflict between Syria and Israel can be resolved.
The Golden Dome missile defense initiative will not be ready for use before the conclusion of Trump's presidency. Trump has issued a 2-week ultimatum to Putin regarding Ukraine, as tensions between the two leaders escalate. Carney has announced that Canada is aiming to participate in a significant European military expansion by the end of June.
Axios has announced that the White House is introducing new federal hiring strategies that emphasize merit. Senator Marco Rubio is leading a significant reorganization of the State Department, which is expected to eliminate and consolidate over 300 offices. The United Nations is requesting a 20% reduction in its workforce to address a funding deficit. In China, a company is providing office space and lunch for just $4 a day to individuals who are trying to conceal their unemployment status, labeling this as a form of escapism.
The Wall Street Journal has made remarks about how Harvard University has educated such a large number of Chinese Communist Party officials that it is referred to as their party school. The Trump administration's State Department has mandated extra scrutiny for individuals intending to attend Harvard, instructing U.S. embassies to immediately commence enhanced vetting for anyone applying for a visa to visit the university. China has criticized U.S. President Donald Trump's discriminatory initiative to cancel student visas. Just 4 days prior, Senator Marco Rubio announced that the U.S. would begin aggressively canceling visas for Chinese students.
Discover the latest updates in the realms of cryptocurrency, politics, technology, and beyond. Stay informed with NewsSource Crawler's edition from June 2, 2025, which provides a comprehensive daily news digest.
YouTube Music Charts, Global Top Songs for the week of May 23–May 29, 2025. 1. Die with a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. 2. APT, by Rose and Bruno Mars. 3. Paso Bem Solto, Slowed, by ATLXS. 4. El Mayor de los Ranas by Victor Valverde and J.R. Torres.
Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global. Spanning from Friday, May 23 to Thursday, May 29, 2025, includes the following tracks. Ordinary by Alex Warren, Don't Say You Love Me by Jean, Die With a Smile featuring Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars, and Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish. One More Drop in the Ocean of AI. Resemble AI has introduced Chatterbox, its inaugural production-grade open-source text-to-speech (TTS) model. This model is available under the MIT license and has been tested against top closed-source systems such as 11 Labs, consistently outperforming them in direct comparisons. Notably, Chatterbox is the first open-source TTS model capable of controlling emotion exaggeration. It offers dependable performance with an exceptionally low latency of less than 200 milliseconds, making it highly suitable for use in agents, applications, or interactive media.